Hello, YouTube. Hope everyone's having an excellent day. Hold on a second. Hope everyone is having an excellent day. Technically had the day off, I guess you could say. Got off work this morning at about 4:30. Okay, I'll respond to that here in a second. After what? About 4:30, drove around for a little bit to kind of decompress and just kind of dwindle down from the night of working, and went to Bojangles when it opened. Got me a number one, which is a spicy chicken fillet, a biscuit. I really don't eat a lot of bread, so I didn't eat the biscuit. Just ate the chicken and the little bow rounds they gave me. And went back to sleep. Not back to sleep, but went to sleep. Got up, took a shower, and my sin of the day is Sartorial from Penhaligon's. I kind of like this little bow tie right here. It's kind of cute. And this is my sin of the day, and it's also the fragrance I'm going to be reviewing by the title, obviously. If I remember correctly, this was released in 2010. Boucheron de Chauffeur, what is and was, well, technically was, because he's not perfuming it now. It's already been made, so he was the perfumer. He is the perfumer for this fragrance. And it's done in classic de Chauffeur measures. Throwing a bunch of notes into a fragrance and making something that smells quite great. Seems like de Chauffeur is good at that. He's known for that. And when he makes something quite well, honestly. This fragrance, to me, it's quite excellent. I have what I just sprayed on, I reapplied this about an hour ago, and this has been on for about 4 or 5 hours on this arm, so kind of have the top, middle, base of what I'm going to be talking about here. Honestly, can't remember all the notes. If you can remember all the notes to a Boucheron de Chauffeur fragrance, then I applaud you with that, because there are so many. Put this where it's closer to in the center. It's kind of killing me. Oops. There we go. Have at it. If you can remember all the notes that Boucheron de Chauffeur puts in his fragrances, then, you know, lucky you. I bought this fragrance around Black Friday, I think. Penhaligon's was doing like a, what was it, like over $50 off or something like that. And then I had a coupon with them anyway. A coupon code to use with them anyway. So I got this under $100 with shipping and everything else, and it usually goes for, I think, like $170 something. So basically got it for $100 off. And it's worth it for that price. It really is. You know, I'm not the hugest fan in the world of barbershop, fougere type fragrances, even though I wouldn't exclusively categorize this as such. And as you know, I'm really not the hugest fan of barbershop, fougere type fragrances. I think it's just a very cheap way to make a fragrance that sells easily, because a lot of people likes the way that fougeres smell. It's classic. You know, it's how my dad smelled. Not my dad, but just, you know, speaking how people describe it in general. You know, how your dad smelled, how grandfather smelled, how whatever man in your life probably smelt something like a fougere. There's tons and tons and tons of fougere fragrances out there. There's modern fougeres, classic fougeres, really badly done fougeres, and I think that's what has really kind of ruined me on fougeres, is because I've smelled so many that I just do not like. There's some high quality fougeres out there that I just don't like either. Fougere Emerald or however you say it, from Les and Dimodable. I just really do not like that. I despise that smell. Love everything else from Les and Dimodable, but I really do not like their Fougere fragrance. La Male, not a fan of La Male. Sauvage, whatever concentration it is, not a huge fan at all. Even some of the Guerlains that are Fougeres, I'm not a huge fan of them. I'm just really not. La Frenchie, I like La Frenchie because it is a Guerlain fragrance. Guerlain always does very well with their fragrances, but, you know, they're just not for me, I guess I should say. And that's coming, I'm going to give this a positive review. Coming from me, that's kind of my disclaimer, saying how good this actually is. It is done very well. It's blended very well. The quality is there. I really like the bottle. I like this little bow tie. The bottle's nice. It's a nice presentation, a nice cap. You can really, shake it around, twist it around. Nice on, off. The sprayer's really nice. Kind of like a semi-pressurized sprayer. Not quite Dior, not quite Chanel, not quite Guerlain, but it's something, it's almost along the lines of an Hermes sprayer, if you will. But off the top, I do get a lot of aldehydes from this fragrance, and not an aldehydic type, like number 5 or Cocoa or number 22 or Eau de Cologne from Chanel or something like that, but almost the same aldehydes that are found in Chypre Palatin, honestly. And I find this to not be similar, to not be this, how do I say it? I do not find this to really be similar to Chypre Palatin, but I do find that there are certain, nods, certain innuendos, certain, maybe this is the Fougere counterpart to Duchefort's Chypre fragrance, Chypre Palatin from Parfums MDCI. Maybe this was the brother, so to speak, or the cousin, or the male figure, or the father to Chypre Palatin. But I do get a lot of aldehydes. I get the violet leaf. I get a little bit citruses. It's very bright in the opening. It's very bright, but it's also very dense. And it's not bright as in citrusy. It's not bright as in oceanic notes. It's not bright as in floral or anything like that. It's just a very bright, peppy opening. And then towards the mid, that's when a lot of the lavender, the honey, the beeswax, and that's what I really like about this fragrance, is that it has the honey and the beeswax, and it has a lot of leather in here too. And it can almost remind you of getting into a freshly cleaned leather interior, honestly. As soon as you pick your car up from getting it detailed and you sit in it and you smell that leather smell mixed with the spray that they put in there and freshly vacuumed, cleaned. They took the Q-tips on the vents, and cleaned everything. And everything's just very clean, but it's also that leather in there. And when you're sitting in there, and the kind of not musky as in like a human musky smell or an animal musky smell, but just a somewhat of an artificial, even though I don't find this to be synthetic, really. But you know what I mean when you sit in a fresh car. And then the lavender here is not overpowering. It's very nice lavender. I really don't like Rive Gauche. I don't like Tom Ford's Fougeres. I really don't. I don't like the lavender he uses, or that the perfumer uses, that Tom Ford probably chose. And I know some people say that's the same in music for a while, but I find it to be, maybe it's the other notes in there that are throwing me off. But they're probably, they come from Estee Lauder, but I think that there are different tier qualities of lavender. I think that the Tom Ford lavender isn't as good. It isn't as full. It isn't as realistic as Frederick Mall's. But this is a soft lavender. It's not piercing. It doesn't have those metallic elements to it. I think metallic notes were listed, but I really don't get a lot of metallic notes. I'm not the hugest fan of metallic notes. They're just too strong. The synthetics and the metallic notes are just too strong for my nose. It really just irritates my nose and makes me have a bad day. And then you get the oak moss, you get the fir blossom, you get the sandalwood, you get all this other stuff that is coming out around the mid of the fragrance. Whereas in the opening, it's all about the brightness, and yeah, you have some musk and some woods in there, but it's really the brightness is up front and there. And then when you get to the dry down, most of the brightness is gone. The woods, the aldehydes are gone. The woods are toned down. The oak moss is really what lays there, even though the oak moss is heavily associated with chypres. I think that chypres and fougères kind of share a common ground, as well as orientals and gourmands and whatever else you want to throw in there. And it really just dries down to a nice skin scent. It doesn't smell like that cheap synthetic musk in the dry down, but it's still there. It's still nice, still apparent. To me, this is a great everyday scent. It would be a nice going out scent. A lot of people like to categorize fragrances by, the situation you would wear it, the season, age, gender, all this other stuff that, in reality, I don't hold to, because I wear whatever I want, whenever I want, and however I want. So I'm not really bound by that, and I don't want other people to be bound by that either. But this, if you're a man that is strong-willed, mature, if you're a man in general, I could see you wearing this. Don't know if I could really see a woman wearing this, honestly. It kind of leans, I think, too far into that classic men's fougere fragrance territory for a lot of women to enjoy it for themselves. I've been told by a couple of people that they enjoyed this on me, so that's nice, but I could care less about compliments. I like the color. It's probably dye, but oh well. That's really all I have to say. Nice fragrance. Not a 10 out of 10. This is probably a 5.5, 6 out of 10. But for me, that's really good, actually. This is a 5.5. This is a 6 out of 10 for me, and that's really good. I mean, that's really good coming from me. So don't take that as a negative thing. It's a really good fragrance. It's not a huge fan of this genre. Even though I really like this fragrance, I don't love it. It's not my favorite from this genre. It's really not even my favorite from this house. But hope everyone has a great day.